So we're going to cover 5 points in this video. My history with NFTs, what I like about NFTs, what I don't like about NFTs, what I think the future is of NFTs, and why I'm no longer selling NFTs. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Will Faulkner. I'm a photographer based in Melbourne, Australia. So point number 1, my history with NFTs. Look, I played around with the free platforms like OpenSea and tried to mint things on there, and I got really excited, and then of course nothing sold. And then I got frustrated and I reached out to a friend of mine who was doing quite well. His name is Noe. He's based in Seoul and he does sort of cyberpunk style photography, amongst other things. And Noe was nice enough to invite me over to Foundation. So Foundation, if you don't know, is an invite-only platform. And I received an invite for that and I was super excited. I mean, this is like going back more than a year ago now. And this is back when people were, really reaching out on Twitter and Instagram for Foundation invites. And I was lucky enough to get invited, and I got invited and minted a few images on there and sold a couple of images. I was lucky enough to sell a couple of artworks of mine, street photography artworks, to collectors, and I was really, really excited about that. So then, being an entrepreneur, I did what most entrepreneurs would do. I thought, okay, well, take the proceeds from that one and put it into the next one, mint another one. And this is going back when minting was a reasonably high expense. So, I think I sold an image for about $400 US, and minting the next one cost like $50 US, I think, at the time. And it was a considerable percentage of capital investment. But I did that, and I basically poured all of my investment, or all of my sale money from the 2 NFTs I sold, I poured them into future projects, thinking, well, if you've sold 2, you're going to sell 10. So I minted another 10 NFTs and I put them all up on Foundation. And that's where it stopped. I didn't sell any more images. They're all sitting there, and I'd used up the proceeds from my first 2 sales, plus I poured in another 300 or 400 Australian dollars or US dollars. It was about $400 I poured in as well of my own money, thinking, well, just put more of your best artwork up there and eventually they'll sell. And I increased the prices. I went from selling at $400 to anywhere from, on average, about $1,000 US on average, all the way up to $10,000 for my best image, or my favorite image that I owned at that particular point in time. But on average, they were $1,000 US, which at the time was 0.25 Ethereum. So to this day, I've got my artwork sitting up on Foundation, and it's just sitting there. I haven't removed it because it costs money to burn artwork, and it's just sitting there. So, if anyone wants to buy it, they're welcome to. I'm not going to go to the trouble of burning or the expense of burning the artwork. It's just going to sit there on Foundation. I also applied as a creator on Super Rare, and I saw that, the reason I did that is I saw that my friend Noe was selling artwork on there fairly consistently, and I thought, just follow what others are doing. And I applied for Super Rare. I applied via their application process, and I never heard from them. And I went on the Super Rare Discord channel, and people were saying, oh yeah, we've got a backlog of applications, so we're not getting back to everyone. If you hear from us, you hear from us. And I really thought that was pretty lame on their behalf. They're making enough money, put on more staff, and either say yes to creators or no to creators when they apply. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Super Rare to this day. Hi guys, really quickly, if you're enjoying my content, please consider supporting the channel by hitting the subscribe or the like button. Thanks very much. So let's talk about what I like about NFTs. First of all, I like the fact that it cuts out the middleman for artists. So historically, as you all probably know, historically you'd have to employ a gallery to sell your fine art prints, or you'd have to pay a bookshop to a commission to hold your books in a shop, and I do that. I've got books in a bookshop at the moment in the city where I live, and you're always paying a middleman for your to sell your artwork to the end user or the consumer. And what I liked about the concept of NFTs was that it cut out the middleman, and it gave artists a direct link to consumers and to to buyers and collectors, and I thought that was just fantastic. And you know, I've always embraced technology. I've always pushed my cameras as far as I can push them, you know, trying to create the most creative images I can. And I've always been I've always enjoyed riding the cutting edge of technology when it comes to building websites and photography and all that kind of thing. So I was really excited when NFTs came along shortly after the crypto sort of wave. There was the NFT wave, and I rode that wave, and I was really, really excited. And I thought, wow, I'm going to make a living. And I envisioned my future being... That's the wife. So I envisioned my photography future being a nomad traveller, travelling around the world, taking my partner with me, and photographing, you know, exotic cities, and, you know, going to Myanmar and you know, Mongolia, and taking street portraits, which I love to do, and putting them up on Foundation, and getting paid in crypto, cashing it out into fiat currency, and going on to the next country. And I really thought that was my future, and I was super, super excited about that. But as I've commented on already, my NFTs stopped selling, so that was the end of that dream. Now let's talk about what I don't like about NFTs. What I don't like is it appears to be such a new frontier that there appears to be many risks, and the risks are, for me, it's more of a crypto blockchain risk. But you know, I've heard of people's artwork being stolen, or rather their tokens being stolen, so that, you know, they no longer own that artwork. I've heard of people's MetaMask wallets being emptied and scammed, and they're losing all their crypto. And you know, the thing is, photographers and artists in general, we work really hard. I mean, I started at 4 a.m. today, and I work 7 days a week at this point in time. So we work really, really, really hard. And to think that you might make a sale is exciting, but then to have that, you know, rug pulled out from under you, and your crypto stolen, or your tokens stolen, it's just too much. It's just too much. I mean, it's hard enough to make a living as a photographer. Basically, that's the guts of it. It's hard enough to make a living, let alone add on those risks on top of, you know, losing your crypto and all the rest of it. That's what I don't like. So that brings me to the next point, what I think the future is for NFTs. Now, you know, I'd like to see a system where we don't use platforms. We cut out the middleman even more. We cut out Super Rare, we cut out Foundation, we cut out OpenSea, and retailers, or sorry, artists can act as a retailer using the blockchain on their own. So they have their own website. You go there, you would pay the artist direct by paying with crypto or fiat currency, and it would generate a token to say you are the official owner of this digital asset, and you buy direct from the artist. So there's no more applying for websites, or waiting to use a website and then the website taking a cut. I mean, Foundation takes a pretty decent cut of the money that you make, as does OpenSea when you eventually sell on OpenSea. And I'd like to see all of that disappear, where you know, I understand that the blockchain at this point in time takes gas to run it, and it takes computers to run it, and manpower and man-hours to run it. I understand that, but give that purchasing power to the creator. So we have a blockchain system that we employ on our website, and when we sell a piece to a collector, a commission goes directly to support the blockchain. To me, that's the obvious future of NFTs. Now let's talk about why I got out of NFTs. You know, I was heavily into the scene, and I was on all the Twitter chats, and the what do they call it on Twitter, where you have a group chat, verbal chat, I forget what that's called. There's so many different names on different platforms these days, I can't keep up. But you know, chat rooms where everyone's talking on open mic, and I was into that, and I was following the scene, and I followed all the guys on Twitter, and I was commenting on their artwork, and you know, picking up all the lingo that everyone talks, and using all the lingo. And what I found, especially on Twitter, was that there's so many shillers out there, and people just in it for the cash, in it for the money, and you know, they're out there bragging that, oh, hey, I've just made a big sale. I paid cash for a house or cash for a Lambo and this and that. And they're not artists. They're not artists to me. And it's not I didn't feel like I was part of an artistic community. So they're just in it for the cash and not the artwork. And they're generating the most ridiculous artwork ever, you know, AI stuff and computer generated stuff that it just sucks. I mean, I try not to comment on other people's artwork, and I'm not going to name any names, but some of the crap that people are putting out there on Foundation, you just look at it and go, look, you're obviously just trying to ride that trend, whether it be a series of stupid fucking monkeys that apes or whatever. I just find that ridiculous. Okay, that's a cash grab, and people that collect them and resell them, it's just a cash grab. You're not in it to support the artist. I mean, can you name the artist who created that bored ape? I bet you can't. And it's just, I didn't like the whole scene. I didn't like the chat groups, and so I've put a lot of time into unfollowing all these people on Twitter and basically trying to clean out my Twitter account and my Instagram account as well. I also lost money in crypto. I lost in the recent FTX crash. I had some crypto invested into BlockFi, and I lost several $1,000s of my hard-earned money in that. And you know, I know that's a side topic to NFTs, but it's all tied up together. You know, it's just, you know, to have your hard-earned money just vaporized and locked away because a company went into administration, you know, or declared bankruptcy, it's just heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. You know, for me, I'm going back to the traditional ways of selling my work, which is doing commercial work here in the city where I live and the country where I live, and selling digital downloads on my website, and you know, the traditional sort of way of making a living how I have done in the past. So don't let my opinion bring you down today. This is a bit of a negative rant on NFTs, but look, people are making money. You can make money too. Just be aware of the risks and the challenges involved. That's all for today. Thanks very much. See you next time.